My name is Dr. Elena Martinez. I'm 32 years old. 3 months ago, I stood in my parents' dining room while they hosted a dinner party for 20 of their closest friends. My father was telling everyone about my brother's latest promotion at his tech startup. My mother was showing off photos of his new Tesla. Everyone applauded. Then someone asked what I'd been up to. My mother waved her hand dismissively and said, "Oh, Elena finally finished school. Got some worthless paper that won't pay her bills. Meanwhile, Marcus just made VP at 28. 20 people heard her reduce my PhD to garbage. My doctoral dissertation in computational biology, 8 years of research that could change cancer treatment, dismissed in one sentence. But what they didn't know was that earlier that week, I'd received an email from Dr. Catherine Rothwell, the president of Stanford University. She wanted to discuss something important. 2 weeks later, when she walked into that same dining room for dinner, my parents' faces went completely white when she introduced herself and explained exactly why she was there. Before I tell you what happened that night, please like and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy this story. Drop a comment. Where are you watching from and what time is it? I love connecting with you all. Now let me take you back to where this really began. Growing up in Orange County, I learned early that achievement only mattered if it came with a visible price tag. My family consisted of my father, who owned 3 car dealerships, my mother, who ran a luxury event planning business, my younger brother Marcus, who was everything they'd ever wanted, and me, the one who kept asking the wrong questions. Marcus brought home money and status. I brought home questions about molecular structures. When I was 14, I won the California State Science Fair. First place, a full scholarship to a summer program at Caltech. I was so excited I could barely speak. I showed my parents the trophy, the acceptance letter, everything. My mother glanced at it. "That's nice, honey." That same week, Marcus made the JV basketball team. Not even varsity. JV. My father threw a party with a full bar and catering, invited 40 people, put up a banner. I told myself it was fine. Sports were more social. I understood. At 22, I graduated summa cum laude from Berkeley with a degree in molecular biology. I'd been accepted to Stanford's PhD program with full funding, one of only 6 students selected that year out of 847 applicants. The acceptance rate was 0.68%. My parents came to graduation but left before the ceremony ended. Marcus had a work thing, some networking event at a golf course. They gave me a card with $50 inside. Marcus had gotten a BMW for his college graduation 2 years earlier. $45,000 worth of car. I got a greeting card from CVS. I told myself graduate students didn't need cars anyway. The Bay Area had good public transit. Last year, I defended my dissertation. 8 years of research into targeted drug delivery systems for pancreatic cancer. My work had already been cited in 17 peer-reviewed journals. Stanford was nominating me for the Vilcek Prize for Young Scientists. I called my parents, nervous but hopeful. I passed my defense. I'm officially Dr. Martinez now. "That's great, sweetie," my mother said, distracted. "Listen, we need you to come down next weekend. Marcus is closing on his house in Newport Beach, and we promised we'd help him move." "But I was hoping you might come up for my hooding ceremony. It's kind of a big deal." "Elena, we're very busy. Marcus needs us. You understand." I understood perfectly. 6 hours of driving to help my brother move into a $2.3 million house. They couldn't manage 2 hours to see me receive my doctorate. That's when I started really looking at the numbers. Not just the recent stuff, but everything. Over the past 10 years, my parents had given Marcus $380,000. Down payment on his first condo, seed money for his startup, the Tesla, furniture, a boat he used twice. All gifts, never loans. They'd given me $3,500 total. The $50 graduation gift, some birthday money, a laptop for college that cost $1,200. I'd asked to borrow $2,000 once during grad school when I had an unexpected medical bill. They said they couldn't afford it. 3 weeks later, they bought Marcus a Rolex for his birthday. $8,500. I never complained. I took out loans, worked as a TA, lived in a studio apartment in East Palo Alto where I could hear gunshots some nights. I published papers, won grants, built something meaningful from nothing. Marcus got a trust fund. I got student debt. I told myself I was building character. That hardship made me stronger. That I didn't need their money because I had my mind, my work, my purpose. But I needed their respect. Just once. 2 months ago, my mother called with an invitation. We're having a dinner party, 20 people. Some of Dad's business associates, a few friends. You should come. I was surprised. They never invited me to their social events. Really? You want me there? Well, Marcus will be there with his fiancée. It'll look better if you come too. Family unity and all that. Not because they wanted to see me. Because it looked good. I almost said no. But something made me say yes. Maybe I was still hoping. Maybe I was just tired of hoping. The dinner was on a Saturday night. I drove down from Palo Alto, 3 hours in traffic. I'd been working 70-hour weeks finishing a grant proposal that could secure $3 million in research funding, but I came because they asked. I arrived at their house in Newport Coast at 6 p.m. The place was exactly as I remembered. All white marble and chrome, like a luxury hotel instead of a home. My mother was in full event planner mode, directing caterers and adjusting flower arrangements. "Oh, Elena, you're here," she said, barely looking at me. "Can you help in the kitchen? We need someone to plate appetizers." Not, "How are you?" Not, "How was the drive?" Just an assignment. I helped for 2 hours. Plated food, poured wine, cleared plates. My mother introduced me to guests as, "My daughter, she's been in school forever," with a little laugh that made it sound like I was a perpetual child who couldn't figure out real life. Marcus arrived at 8 p.m. with his fiancée, Brittany. They made an entrance. My mother actually gasped with joy. My father beamed. Everyone turned to greet them. "Marcus just made VP of Innovation," my father announced proudly. "Youngest VP in the company's history." Everyone applauded. Someone asked about his salary. "6 figures," I heard him say. "Big equity package." Then someone, Mrs. Patterson from my father's Rotary Club, asked me, "And what do you do, Elena?" I opened my mouth to respond, but my mother cut me off. "Elena just finished school. Finally," she laughed. "Got her PhD, which is lovely, but you know how it is. All that education and she'll probably end up teaching at some community college making $40,000 a year. Meanwhile, Marcus here is already building real wealth." The room went quiet for a moment. Then my father added, "We told her to go into business or medicine, something practical. But she wanted to study," he waved his hand vaguely, "cells or something. Now she has a worthless paper and $100,000 in debt." Worthless paper. My doctoral dissertation. 8 years of my life. Research that 3 major pharmaceutical companies were already looking at. Work that could save thousands of lives. Worthless paper. I stood there, frozen. 20 people were looking at me with pity or amusement or polite discomfort. My brother smirked into his wine glass. My mother had already moved on, talking to someone else about Marcus's engagement party plans. Something inside me quietly broke. Not with rage, not with tears, just a clean snap, like a bone setting after being crooked for years. I left. Didn't make a scene, didn't argue. I simply walked out, got in my car, and drove back to Palo Alto in the dark. But on Monday morning, I did something I'd been putting off. I opened my email and responded to Dr. Catherine Rothwell. Dr. Rothwell was the president of Stanford University. She was also one of the most respected figures in academic medicine, former Surgeon General, advisor to 3 presidents, winner of the National Medal of Science. And 3 weeks earlier, she had personally emailed me. The email was about my research. She'd read my dissertation. She'd also read the follow-up paper I'd co-authored that had just been published in Nature Medicine. My work on targeted drug delivery for pancreatic cancer had caught her attention because her husband had died from that disease 5 years ago. She wanted to meet. She mentioned something about a new research initiative at Stanford, significant funding, and the possibility of me leading it. I'd been honored but hesitant to respond. Imposter syndrome, maybe. Or just exhaustion from never feeling good enough for anyone. But after that dinner, after worthless paper, I wrote back. We met on Wednesday in her office. She was in her mid-60s, sharp-eyed and direct. She didn't waste time. Dr. Martinez, your work is groundbreaking. I want you to lead Stanford's new Targeted Therapeutics Initiative. $15 million in initial funding, your own lab, a team of your choosing. We're positioning Stanford as the global leader in precision oncology, and you're the person to do it. I couldn't breathe. I'm only 32. I just finished my PhD. And you've already accomplished more than researchers 20 years your senior. Age isn't relevant. Brilliance is. She leaned forward. The appointment comes with an associate professorship, full tenure track, and a salary of $180,000 to start. The initiative will be named after you, the Martinez Initiative for Targeted Therapeutics. My initiative. My name on buildings. My research changing lives. There's something else, she continued. I'd like to meet your family. It's tradition when we make appointments of this magnitude. I like to understand the support system behind our faculty. Would they be available for dinner, perhaps? I thought about my parents' house, their dinner parties, their complete inability to see me. And then I thought about how perfect this was. Actually, I said slowly, my parents love hosting dinners. They do it all the time. I think they'd be thrilled to have you as a guest. Dr. Rothwell smiled. Excellent. Let's say 2 weeks from now, Saturday evening? I called my mother that afternoon. Hi, Mom. I wanted to ask if I could bring someone to dinner sometime. A colleague who'd like to meet you and Dad. My mother sounded distracted. Who is it? Dr. Catherine Rothwell. She works at Stanford. Is she important? She's the president of the university. Sudden attention. I could practically hear my mother's brain calculating the social capital. The president of Stanford wanting to have dinner at their house? The bragging rights? Of course! Yes! When? I'll plan something elegant. How wonderful, Elena. What a great connection you've made. Not, I'm proud of you. Just appreciation for the networking opportunity. 2 weeks from Saturday? Around 7? Perfect. I'll invite some people. Make it a real event. Actually, Mom, Dr. Rothwell specifically requested just family. She prefers intimate dinners. A pause. Oh, well, all right. Just us then. Your father will be so pleased. The 2 weeks crawled by. I told my parents nothing about the real reason for the dinner. I let them think I was bringing my boss to meet them, some courtesy visit. My mother mentioned she'd invited Marcus and Brittany too, since Dr. Rothwell should meet the whole family. Perfect. Saturday arrived. I drove to Newport Coast in my beat-up Honda Civic, the one with 180,000 miles that I'd bought used in grad school. Dr. Rothwell followed in her own car, a modest Volvo, which I appreciated. She'd offered to ride together, but I wanted to be able to leave on my own terms. I arrived first. My mother answered the door in a designer dress, the house spotless and catered food already laid out. She looked past me. Is she here yet? She'll be here in 10 minutes. Good. Listen, Elena, please don't embarrass us. Let your father and me do most of the talking. We know how to handle important people. I smiled. Of course, Mom. Marcus and Brittany arrived. My brother wore an expensive suit. He barely acknowledged me. So, you're finally introducing your boss to Mom and Dad? Trying to prove you have a real job? Something like that. At exactly 7 p.m., the doorbell rang. My mother rushed to answer it, my father beside her. I stayed in the background. Dr. Rothwell entered. She was elegant in a simple black dress, her white hair perfectly styled, her presence commanding without trying. She shook my parents' hands. Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, thank you so much for hosting me. I'm Catherine Rothwell. My mother was already in full charm mode. We're so honored to have you, the president of Stanford, in our home. Please, come in, make yourself comfortable. We moved to the dining room. My mother had set the table with her finest china. My father poured wine. Everyone was on their best behavior. Dr. Rothwell smiled warmly at everyone. What a lovely family. You must be so proud of Elena. My mother laughed lightly. Oh, yes, we're glad she finished her studies. 8 years is quite a long time, but she's very dedicated. Indeed, Dr. Rothwell said. Elena is one of the most brilliant scientists of her generation. My father jumped in. Well, we always encouraged education. Though I have to say, Marcus here took a more practical path. He's VP of Innovation at a tech company. Youngest VP they've ever had. Marcus preened. Yeah, it's been a great year. Just closed on a house in Newport Beach, getting engaged, the promotion. Things are really coming together. Dr. Rothwell nodded politely. Congratulations. Technology is certainly lucrative. She turned to my parents. But I'm here primarily to talk about Elena's extraordinary achievement. My mother looked confused. Achievement? Yes, her appointment to lead the new Targeted Therapeutics Initiative at Stanford. I assume she told you? The room went silent. My mother blinked. Appointment? Dr. Rothwell looked at me. Elena, you didn't tell them. I shrugged. It didn't seem important enough to mention. Dr. Rothwell's eyes sparkled with understanding. She turned back to my parents. Well then, allow me to share the news. Elena has been appointed to lead a $15 million research initiative at Stanford, the first of its kind in the nation. She'll have her own laboratory, a team of researchers, and a full tenure-track position as associate professor. The initiative is being named after her. My father's wine glass stopped halfway to his mouth. Marcus looked like he'd been slapped. My mother stammered, 15 million? In initial funding, yes. Based on Elena's groundbreaking research into targeted drug delivery systems for pancreatic cancer, we expect significantly more funding to follow. Her recent publication in Nature Medicine has already generated interest from 3 major pharmaceutical companies and the National Cancer Institute. Conservatively, we're looking at $50 million in total research funding over the next 5 years. The silence was deafening. Dr. Rothwell continued, completely composed. Her work will save lives, thousands of them. We're estimating that within 10 years, her research could improve survival rates for pancreatic cancer by 40%. That's not an exaggeration. That's peer-reviewed science. My mother had gone pale. We didn't know. Her salary will be $180,000 annually to start, Dr. Rothwell added, with significant growth potential as the initiative expands. She'll also be nominated for the Vilcek Prize, which comes with $100,000. And given the trajectory of her career, I would be surprised if she's not elected to the National Academy of Sciences before she's 40. Marcus was staring at his plate. His VP salary was suddenly less impressive. My father cleared his throat. That's wonderful, Elena. We're very proud. Dr. Rothwell raised an eyebrow. Are you? Because Elena mentioned to me that her family thought her PhD was, and I quote, a worthless paper. The room temperature dropped 20 degrees. My mother's face flushed. I never... That was taken out of context. Was it? Dr. Rothwell's voice was still pleasant, but there was steel underneath. Because Elena also mentioned that over the past 10 years, you financially supported her brother with approximately $380,000 in gifts, while providing her with less than $4,000. She paid for her entire education through scholarships, loans, and working as a teaching assistant. She lived in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the Bay Area because it was all she could afford. My father tried to speak. We believed in teaching her independence. Independence is admirable, Dr. Rothwell interrupted. But there's a difference between fostering independence and creating inequity. Elena has accomplished more with no support than most people accomplish with every advantage. She did it alone because you gave her no choice. My mother's eyes were filling with tears. Not tears of remorse, tears of humiliation. We had a witness, someone important, someone who mattered to them. Dr. Rothwell turned to me, her voice gentle. Elena, thank you for inviting me. I wanted to meet your family to understand where you came from. Now I understand perfectly. You succeeded despite them, not because of them. She stood. Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, I'll be leaving now. I came here to thank you for raising such an extraordinary daughter, but I see that the credit belongs entirely to Elena herself. She is brilliant, resilient, and kind, qualities she clearly developed on her own. She looked at my parents one last time. Your daughter is going to change the world. I hope someday you'll be able to appreciate what you failed to see. Then she turned to me. Elena, I'll see you Monday morning. We have work to do. I stood and followed her out. Behind me, I could hear my mother starting to cry. My father calling my name. Marcus silent. I didn't turn around. Outside, Dr. Rothwell paused at her car. That was probably harder than your dissertation defense. I laughed, surprising myself. Way harder. You're going to be okay, she said. Better than okay. You're going to be extraordinary. She hesitated. For what it's worth, my parents didn't understand my career either. They wanted me to get married and have children, not become a surgeon. Some families can't see past their own expectations. How did you handle it? I built a new family. Mentors, colleagues, friends who understood what I was trying to do. Blood doesn't always determine who your real family is. She smiled. You'll find yours too. She left. I sat in my car for a long moment before starting the engine. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. Elena, please come back inside. We need to talk. I didn't respond. Another text from my father. We're sorry, we didn't understand. Can we start over? I turned off my phone and drove home. That was 3 months ago. I haven't spoken to my parents since that dinner. They've tried calling, emailing, even showing up at my apartment once. My mother wants to plan a celebration dinner. My father wants to invest in my research. I've ignored all of it. Not out of revenge, not even out of anger anymore, just out of clarity. Some people say I should forgive them, that family is family, that everyone makes mistakes. And maybe they're right. Maybe someday I will forgive them. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It doesn't mean giving them access to my life again. It doesn't mean pretending the past didn't happen. I've learned that you can't make people value you. You can only decide whether to keep trying. I chose to stop trying. My work at Stanford is everything I hoped it would be. My lab is state-of-the-art. My team is brilliant and passionate. We're 6 months into the initiative, and we've already made progress that has pharmaceutical companies calling weekly. Lives are going to be saved because of this work. I'm building something real, something that matters. Not because it has a price tag, but because it has purpose. And I'm building a new family, too. Dr. Rothwell has become a mentor and friend. My research team feels like siblings, the kind who celebrate your successes instead of competing with them. I found people who see me, truly see me, for who I am and what I can do. I'm not the scapegoat anymore. I'm not the disappointing daughter. I'm Dr. Elena Martinez, and my work speaks for itself. If you're reading this, and you felt invisible in your own family, if you've been told your dreams are worthless, if you've been measuring yourself against someone else's yardstick your entire life, hear me. You are not the problem. Your value doesn't depend on whether they can see it. Build anyway, dream anyway, succeed anyway. Not to prove them wrong, but to prove yourself right. Your worth isn't determined by who acknowledges it. It exists whether they see it or not. And sometimes the best thing you can do is find people who already understand that. Thank you for reading my story. If it resonated with you, please like and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, Have you ever felt invisible in your own family? How did you find your way forward? I'd love to hear your story.